Well, shocking video of a New York City Council member being arrested at a protest yesterday over a proposal to build a new homeless shelter in Brooklyn. Tensions continue to remain high, and Mayor Adams says every district must share equally when it comes to solving the city's homeless crisis.
The mayor joins us now to talk about these concerns and other big issues facing New Yorkers. Mayor Adams, if you can hear us, it's so nice to see you. Thanks for joining us. Mayor Adams, can you hear us?
Oh, we can't hear. We cannot hear you.
We're having some mic issues.
Okay,
there you are.
Perfect. We hear you now.
Good.
All right, Mayor Adams, thank you so much for joining us. Nice to see you.
Good to see you as well.
Yeah, let's jump right into it. So we just showed that video of that situation that got so ugly in Bensonhurst with Councilwoman Zhuang ended up biting a police officer. She said that she was subjected to excessive force. She's calling for justice. What's your reaction to that whole situation?
I really love, Councilwoman Zhuang. She's always been pro-public safety. She understands the aspects of how do we protest peacefully. I think that it was unfortunate this happened. I reached out, and we're going to sit down and try to move forward on this. You know, there's really no excuse for anyone ever biting or assaulting a police officer. I just came from a funeral this morning of an officer who died as a recruit. We lost too many officers. We have to send the right message, peacefully protest. But when you look at the tape, you see he was bitten prior to any form of other contact with her.
Right, and obviously now we're seeing that some city councilors are saying you're extending more grace to her because she's been vocally pro-police in the past. I'm just curious what your reaction to that allegation is.
8.3 million New Yorkers, 35 million opinions. I extend grace to everyone, and no one could ever question how much I support our law enforcement community in the city, from giving them a contract that they've been asking for a long time to giving them the tools to do their job. What I believe is important when you have someone like the Councilwoman that has been extremely pro-law enforcement, we need to find a way to resolve this issue.
Let's talk about FDNY Commissioner Kavanagh saying that she's stepping down. I mean, this was news that broke over the weekend, and of course it got buried with the attempted assassination of Donald Trump. But it seemed like kind of a surprise. What was your reaction to her decision to step down?
Not surprising to me. She shared with me several months ago that, Eric, I want to do other things with my life. Running an agency like the NYPD, like FDNY, look at what we're doing over in HRA. This takes a lot of time out of your life, particularly when you work with a mayor that's a 24/7 mayor, and she wants to do other things with her life. What I found surprising, Frank Carone left the administration, Brendan McGuire left the administration, Max left the administration. No one asked the question, was it that they couldn't take the pressure or the heat, or didn't they get enough nurturing? I think we view women unfairly. She's ready to do something else with her life, and we should just take it like that. That's what she shared with me, and I believe her. She can stay the commissioner as long as she wants in FDNY or whatever else she wants to do in our administration if there's an opening.
Understood on that account, certainly, Mayor, but I think you bristled at that question earlier during the off-topic news brief. And just in our newsroom meeting in the afternoon, we sort of organically came up to the idea of if you appropriately tout hiring the first female fire commissioner, why would it not be a fair question on the way out if that somehow played into her decision, especially since this is a predominantly male-dominated department, et cetera?
Well, I hired the first Hispanic in the Department of Correction, and I moved him out. Now he's over at DCAS. No one asked me about Molina. Did he get enough nurturing? There are places that I hired the first men to run particular areas of different ethnicities, and I didn't ask that question. We have to be honest about it. I know it's uncomfortable when I raise some of these topics, but every woman that left my administration, from Judge Radix to Commissioner Keishan Sewell, the same thing happens. I never was asked that question one time with a man, and we have to be honest about that.
Yeah, let's talk about, though, the department now. Without a head, are you going to hire another woman? Who are you thinking about for your job search?
Actually, it's not without a head. The commissioner made it clear she's going to stay until we're able to transition and find the next person, and we're going to find someone that can continue the leadership. We have a lot of talent in this city. We're fortunate to have a lot of great leaders on our bench, and we're just going to call them up to continue to lead the greatest fire department on the globe.
All right, you got it. All right, subway crime. Let's talk about that. New numbers showing crime was down around 7% month to month. Those were good numbers also in comparison to 5 years ago, pre-pandemic. Now we've got the scanners about to be rolled out. Are you confident confident those will help further drive down the subway crime? And obviously, we've talked about this time and time again with you. It is a perception issue. We did a poll yesterday, asked people vote in online, whatnot. 90% of them said they didn't feel safe on the subway. So obviously, you've got a two-track issue there with driving the numbers down and then making people feel as if it's safer. How important do you think it will be on both of those fronts, these new scanners?
Remember in 2022 when crime was high and I said we have to deal with perception and reality, and everyone went at me because of that? Because perception is your reality. And we want to lean in with our SCOUT program to go after those with severe mental health illness. But let's be clear, if you take up to 2 years of COVID, this is the lowest crime has been in over 14 years. Robberies are lower than the time that we recorded robberies in our city. Over 4 million riders a day, an average of 5 felonies a day, and we're going to continue to drive it down with the cameras on every train and with our new technology of identifying guns on our subway system. We're moving in the right direction. We're on the right track. There won't be any derailments.
Some people say that having these body scanners are really going to slow down entry into the subways. What's your reaction to that?
I go back to my original comment, 8.3 million New Yorkers, 35 million different opinions. Every day, New Yorker that use our subway system, they are happy to know we will identify if someone is carrying a gun before they get on the system. That's where the overwhelming number of New Yorkers line up.
All right, fair enough. Let's go to illegal weed shops. We saw a big crackdown earlier this week. You busted, $1 million worth of pot, etc. Where do you think we are in the process of getting this whole situation under control? We saw all those illegal shops sprout up. I credit where credit's due. I will tell you, there were 1 million of them in my neighborhood. The ones you closed down about a month or so ago remain closed to this day. More legal licenses are being issued. Where do you think we are in the whole scheme of things as far as getting that under control?
Like anything, you have to warm up, and then you have to crawl before you run, and you have to jog before you're in a fast pace, and that's what Sheriff Miranda and his team is doing with the other law enforcement agencies. A major bust yesterday because it helped us take millions of dollars worth of illegal cannabis and mushrooms off our streets, but it did something else. It allowed us to see that they're not only using traditional cannabis spots. This was just a normal deli that we had input from our community. Over 600 closed thus far, and we're getting better and better as the days go on. Kudos to the governor and the speaker and the majority leader for giving us extended powers with the police department.
And Mayor Adams, we definitely want to hear from you about this. I mean, we've been hearing every single day increased calls for Biden to drop out of the race. Even today, we're now hearing that former President Barack Obama might be changing his course, having increasingly doubts about him running. What are your thoughts on those calls?
Riding with Biden. I cannot make it any clearer. If I have one reputation that everyone knows, when I'm with you, I'm with you. I am not someone that when times get tough, that I abandon you. I know what he did around crime when I needed him in the city, what he did around our economy, and what he is doing around women's health and protective of women's rights to choose. And so I'm riding with Biden. And if he makes a determination that he's going to leave the race, that is for him to make, and the leaders of our party to sit down and chart the right course. But right now, I'm riding with Biden.
All right, and final question here. When you were inaugurated into office, you made sort of a splash by taking your first 3 paychecks in Bitcoin. I haven't heard you talk a lot about it lately, but Republicans are clearly trying to make a play for being the party of crypto and Bitcoin. You're seeing it every day, a new announcement coming out of the RNC. Where do you think Dems should be on this issue, and where are you personally when it comes to crypto and making it easier for people to get involved with it?
Well, you had the Democratic mayor that took his first 3 paychecks in crypto, so we're leading the way. I think the Dems should grab onto this. My last check, my crypto investment was doing fairly well, and I think that we should look at Bitcoins. We should look at other form of cryptocurrency, as well as others, cashless wallets. There's so much we can do. We should not be afraid of this new form of paying for goods and services. We should embrace it. I spoke with one of the leaders in El Salvador a few weeks ago, and they're doing so much with this type of new form. And so blockchain, all of this is the currency and the ways of the future of paying for goods and services.
All right, he's hodling.
I know.
That's the mayor. We appreciate it.
Mr. Mayor, thank you so much.
Thank you. Take care.